What's going on, everybody? Welcome
Praise the
to
Lord.
the Root Cause Podcast. I am your host, Kendall Wyatt. I am your big brother, your little brother, your old summer fling, your friendly neighborhood pastor. But I'm here with my two brothers. I'm here with Eric Johnson. He is a tax professional. He's an accountant. He's a business owner. He is a person that looks around for politics. He's heavy in that. And I also have with me my other brother, Aaron Chandler. He's a business owner. He's a digital marketing business operations consultant. So if you need help with your business, he can definitely get you taken care of with that. This is the Root Cause Podcast. We wanted to come together, three brothers that have similar views, but at the same time, very different views. And we want to come together and just talk about some of the things going on in our world. The purpose of the podcast is to get to the root cause of all of this. So we see news stories all the time, but then we want to get to the root cause. What do we feel like as three black men who come from similar yet very different backgrounds? We want to get to what we feel is the root cause of it. Because sometimes we don't understand why things are happening in the world because we don't understand the root. We don't understand where it started. So this podcast attempts to venture out and find out what is the root cause of these issues. Brothers, what's up? Y'all good?
Good.
First, let's fix your name.
Oh, you gotta fix my name. You got my name on messed up. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. So Aaron, Aaron is already over there messing with the that's crazy word, by the way. Because I didn't catch it. Here I am being serious. This dude's over here. Look, we all friends, so that's why that's what this is, man. Let me stop playing. We all friends that come together, man. We want to do this podcast because this is what we do. This is what we do in our own little text thread, our own Facebook chat. We send each other stuff, man. We just kind of talk about it. So we was like, look, man, let's do a podcast, man. Let's let the world see how three black men think about this stuff, how we feel about it. Yo, fellas, there's a couple things I want us to talk about that's been in the news here recently. Recently, there was a shakeup at the CDC, and the White House is defending this firing. So first up, the White House has defended its decision to fire the newly appointed CDC director less than a month into her tenure. The administration also warned other officials who failed to align with this political vision, essentially saying, if you don't get in line, get out the door. Meanwhile, the health secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's weird as all get out, he emphasized that the CDC must fully embrace President Trump's agenda. The dismissal has prompted resignations within the agency and drawn criticism from former CDC leaders and public health advocates concerned about prioritizing science over politics. And I want to ask my two brothers, man, what do y'all feel about this? I think one of the challenges is right now that I think we are seeing that Donald Trump and his administration has no real desire to actually administrate, but to dominate. And it is either their way or the highway. And I think, and I'll give you all the floor. I think the challenge is, I don't think we should fall asleep on the fact that we are watching a dictatorship in its infancy. This is how Germany turned into Nazi Germany because it was death by 1,000 cuts. Eric, let's start with you. What's your thoughts, man? What's your thoughts on this? What's going on with the CDC?
Well, my thing is, the thing is, this individual was already put in place by the Senate. So she went through the to the channels, the channels,
The confirmation, confirmation process.
So she, as far as our senators was concerned, she was qualified, whatever that means, and put her in, and she's up, like you said, 7 months, and she's already getting kicked out because she won't just fall in line with what Trump wants to do. Who doesn't know anything about nothing as far as that's concerned. But I feel like if he does, like you said, if he doesn't get his way 100% of the time, 80% of the time, that he's just gonna fire everybody. And then we have RFK and juniors in they're involved, probably speak to his ear saying that, hey, she's giving me issues. So, and he and Trump, he I feel like, for me, that what I've seen him do, that he does not give women as far as much as far as latitude as he gives the men.
Absolutely.
And I think that's part of the issue as well. The thing is, it's going to take them. Even I heard one of the senators, I think either Senator Kennedy or out of Louisiana, or out there in North Carolina, he was saying that it's not going to be easy. It's going to be harder to get someone else put in that position, because you have to pretty much start all over as far as the nomination process, them going through the vetting and get that next person in. So it's going to be just another person in the office that's not going to that they are allowed to have somebody temporarily in there to do the position, to pretty much carry the will of Donald Trump.
Here's the thing before you go, Aaron. As I throw it to you, to me, the root cause of this, though, is the root of this, where this comes from, is Donald Trump's desire to be a dictator.
Yeah.
And what they have found this time that they didn't understand last time, Aaron, I believe, is that when you don't want someone in just a career government position, a non-political, non-partisan position, and you need someone in there that's going to do whatever you tell them to do, what they have found is that you go through the Senate confirmation process, then you fire the person, because then you can appoint temporarily, as Eric said, whomever you want. And the danger in that, Aaron, and you can give us your feedback on it, but I feel like the danger in it is that the beast has learned how to circumvent the system. He's learning how to he's doing something this time that he did not do last time. He did not know how to maneuver in Washington. He had all these dictatorial urges, but he didn't know how to move like that. Now he's got some people that know how to move, and the adults, and we talked about this offline, the adults are out of the room. There's no adults in the room. There is no General Kelly. There is no adults in the room. What's your take, Aaron? What do you think the root cause of this is? What's the end game for Donald Trump for doing this? What's the end game?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. It shouldn't surprise any of us. This is Donald Trump. This is who he is. The presidency, governing, all that stuff comes with a price. It doesn't even have to be Donald Trump. This is the new Republican Party. This is who they are. Whatever they can do to pad their pockets, the pockets of their friends and families, protect their lineage from generations to come, so their great-great-grandchildren never have to work, never have to lift a finger. Not that they were going to be lifting a finger anyway. Yeah, when he doesn't surround himself around people with intelligence or qualified people, he surrounds himself around people who won't push back against what he's trying to do. So yes, if you're not going to come in and kiss the ring, then your job is on the line. And the second thing is, her last name was Monarez, Dr. Monarez. That's too close for comfort. It's too close. Really. He's like, let's get this Mexican whatever out of here. No, it's when you have a Latin American sounding name, of course you're not going to, and you don't kiss the ring. Oh, you're gone. You're out of here. So I'm not surprised by anything that this administration does. I'm not surprised by anything that Donald Trump does. Now I don't even think it's necessary that he wants to be a dictator. He's just after he's greedy. He's after money. And if he can, if lobbyists can say, hey, don't pass this bill, let's because they're the party of deregulation. So we don't want anyone in there that's going to regulate. So if you keep the regulations at bay, we're going to give you this, we're going to give you that, of course, that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, I think you bring up a good point, but I'm gonna tell you this: if it's not a dictator, why is it dictator shaped? If he's not trying to be a dictator, then why is he shaped like a dictator? Why is the packaging in dictator packaging, right?
Mm-hmm.
I really believe that we are watching Project 2025 right in front of our face, something that they said didn't exist. And I know we have our slight disagreements amongst ourselves on Kamala Harris and all that, but one thing she did try to do is tell us that this is coming. She said Donald Trump will put U.S. troops on the streets of American cities. He has done that. She said Donald Trump will make sure that anyone in the government that doesn't align with him from the top to the bottom, he is going to find a way to get rid of them. He has done that. We saw the Project 2025. The goal was to eliminate, I believe, like 30% of the current um, federal workforce and then rehire back 30%. And the reason is because the thought was that the federal government might be somewhere between 50-50 or 60-40. It could be 60% Democrat, 40% Republican, or it could be 60% Republican and 40% Democrat, or 50-50. No matter what the case is, Project 2025 said if you get rid of 30% of all of them and you only hire back people who you vet and know that they are loyal to you, now no matter what the number is, you have a supermajority from the top down. And that is literally the playbook of Adolf Hitler. He literally did the same thing. When Adolf Hitler came into power, the first thing he did was he said that all media is fake. They are trying to poison you. They're not real. They're not telling you the truth. He attacked the free press. The second thing he started doing was putting pressure on the judiciary. The third thing he did was try to infiltrate and turn over the soil of the federal government of Germany. And those are the textbook thing. And then the last thing he did was he identified a minority group and said the reason why we haven't recovered from World War One is because of these Jews. And Donald Trump has told poor white people that the reason why you can't afford to send your children to college, you can't afford to buy you a brand new dually, you have lost all of your manufacturing jobs in Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, and Wisconsin. You have lost all those jobs not because of what we did as a Republican Party, but because the Hispanics are coming to take your jobs. Oh, by the way, the Hispanics are hanging drywall and working farm jobs and working in our hospitality areas. They're not taking manufacturing jobs. So to me, that's the game. You find a culprit, you blame them, right? And then you do all the other. This is textbook Adolf Hitler. Textbook Adolf Hitler. Y'all got anything else about that before we switch to our second topic?
And yes, and to piggyback on that, it was a polling that Republicans, a large amount of Republicans, do want Trump to be a dictator. And that's why our checks and balances are not there, because some of our Congress people and their senators in those red states that are bloodshot red, that they're telling their constituents, are telling those Congress people, basically let Trump do whatever he wants. So the checks and balances that was put in place by the Constitution is pretty much falling apart, because they're capitulating to whatever Trump tells them to do, like for the money, for the access, for the power, and like you said, and for lobbyists. So that's why we're in a bad spot. I'm even shocked to see how bad it has gotten so fast. That is it's even shocked me, that I'm just like, what are opposite parties going to do to be able to swing this back to so that we have some sort of a democracy left?
Yeah. And it's honestly, it is not as it's not as unimaginable as we. Again, the guardrails to keep us on the track. The final line of defense is the Supreme Court, and they are gone. They are out to lunch.
And they've been saying You do what he wants.
Yeah.
Because they're getting kickbacks as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
It all comes down to money. That's what we're saying here. I mean, they were talking about democracy and the cost of democracy. It's that's been up for sale. That's been up for sale, and the Republicans and the Supreme Court, they pretty much sold democracy.
Yeah, they have, and it's been brewing through the years, and now we've created an environment that that there's, again, if we're not going to have guardrails around this is the benefit, the beauty of the 3 parts equal government, but the other 2 parts have to stand up and want to do their job, right? That's the only way this thing stands. There was a woman, and you all have to forgive me if my podcast mates, if y'all help me remember, I will go and find. There was I did a story on it a while back. There was a psychologist, and she was with Harvard, I believe, and she said that Trump supporters emotionally operate at the level of an 8-year-old, because they have Trump appeals to them because they have this. Trump has a cartoonish strength, and when you feel weak, you need a cartoonish strong Superman or Popeye the Sailor Man to come and save the day. And then you take the fact that Trump talks like them. A lot of times these politicians, they talk above the head of people. The average, and I hate to say this, y'all, but it's the truth. The average American is dumb. Okay? I have been around this world. So has Aaron. I'm sure Eric has been out the country as well. If you have not been outside of America, you need to get out. You need to get outside of America, because the average American struggles intellectually. We don't understand how the world really works. We have been taught American exceptionalism, and it feeds into our own personal sense of value. Like other countries aren't as valued as America. It's the greatest country on the earth, right? We are earlier today, Donald Trump at this press conference in which he looked like he's not doing well.
He's not.
He said China needs us more than we need them. No, that is not true, Mr. President. We need China. I need my TVs. I need my radios. I need my clothes. I need the Jordans. We need it. So stop this already. But y'all, we can move on to the next topic to stay on track with our agenda for the night. But listen, here's the thing, man. I believe Kamala Harris tried to warn us. And America, this is my opinion, did not want a black woman, right? So what we got, because it was about eggs, remember? It was about eggs. It wasn't about being a dictator. It wasn't about racism. It wasn't about greed. It was about eggs, the price of eggs. Eggs are higher now than they were when they were running for president. So it wasn't about the eggs. It was about something else. But we can move on to the next time. Here's the second thing I want us to cover, because another thing, y'all, that we talk about amongst ourselves is we talk a lot about immigration as well. So there was a story out of Houston. And they're calling it the Ding Dong Ditch shooting. There was a very heartbreaking, very sad incident in Houston where an innocent ding dong ditch prank turned fatal. It was on August 31st. An 11-year-old by the name of Julian Guzman and a cousin played the familiar childhood prank of ringing a neighbor's doorbell and running away. When Gonzalo Leon Jr., who's age 42, answered, he fired into the ground and then shot Julian in the back as he ran. The boy died the next day. Leon, who had nearly 20 firearms in his home, had been charged with murder. Authorities noted the incident does not appear to involve self-defense. surveillance footage reportedly shows Leon waiting before following and shooting the child in his back. Aaron, let's start with you. What's your thoughts on this story?
Kendall, real quick, what's Leon's last name?
His name is Gonzalo Leon Jr.
Gonzalo Leon Jr. Okay. He's, whether you want to call him Mexican, Hispanic, he's from the region of Latin America.
Hey, absolutely.
And this is the problem. And I know you're gonna have some people pushing back, but I've been saying this for years. I saw it during Obama's second administration, and then I saw it during, it really just put its ugly head out there, rear its ugly face during George Floyd and Black Lives Matter, where the Latin American community came out in opposition. Our brown, we call them our brown brothers and sisters, came out in opposition and stood with neo-Nazis against Black people. I know Hispanics who their children don't even speak Spanish. I know, and on top of that, their spouse is Caucasian. There are certain forms where you go to fill out the form and they'll say that Hispanic is pretty much white. So now you want to say you identify as white. You got a guy in the office building a wall to throw your ass over it. And you had a nerve to stand with them. Let's go to just the last election. The last election, record turnout of that Hispanic community for Donald Trump. Record turnout. If we can just say, although, you know, we're lighter than them, we're going to get a piece of that pie. Although we're lighter than them, we're going to have a seat at that table. So here you are, got this guy who possibly has a bunch of American flags in his house. He probably has Confederate flags in his house. And you go run down the street because you identify. You think you're one of them. You're going to go and do something that they would do. That's what they do and get away with it. But see, America just reminded you, oh yeah, you almost look like us. You're lighter than them, but you're not us. They not like us. So now you're charged with murder. Oh, you thought you was about to get away with it. You thought you was going to sit free for a few months while they thought about it. No, they hauled Joe tail.
Yeah, no.
They picked your dumb butt up and hauled you off. And I'm not marching. No, good. I hope they fry you. You deserve it. So make an example out of them. Because I'm sick and tired of it. Listen, and you know me, like you said, we travel the world. I'm all for equality and all that stuff. I feel like everybody has a right to fight for what they believe in. But I'm not about to suffer and join another party of oppressors to help with the attack on the oppressed. Just because I feel like if I can team up with them, then maybe they'll pull the dogs off of us. No, it don't work like that. And as this guy found out, you are not like them. You'll never be one of them.
You'll never be one of them. You know, Aaron, you make a good point. I'm gonna tell you something. So I was talking to I'm also in construction, right? And so I was talking to a contractor that I work with. He does roofing for me. He's Hispanic, and I was talking to him about another contractor that I know, who I went a couple of weeks ago to meet his wife downtown Indianapolis. We're all in Indianapolis, by the way. To meet her downtown for a hearing for him because he was picked up. He is a naturalized citizen of the United States of America, but his nephew, who was in the truck with him, they do drywall work. His nephew is not. His nephew's from Guatemala, and he's not a naturalized citizen. He is technically illegal. So they arrested this contractor, the contractor I know, along with his nephew. And he is a naturalized citizen of the United States of America. He's been here for nearly 20 years. He's naturalized citizen. But they arrested him for aiding and abetting a fugitive. Giving aid and comfort to a fugitive. I said to the other contractor, as I was telling him about their story,
Hey,
I said,
Kendall,
man, listen.
can you explain what a naturalized citizen is to our audience, just in case they don't know?
Sure. A naturalized citizen is someone that was not born in America, but obtained citizenship. And so they are considered full-fledged citizen. They've gone through the process. I believe it took him that process takes about between 8 and 12 years for the average person to become a naturalized citizen of the United States of America. So he went through the whole process. He went through everything. He was on a work visa. He had to get it renewed, I think, a couple times, and he did it the right way, so to speak, and still got hemmed up in this. Here's the thing, though. Here's my challenge with this. This is what I tell the other contractor. I said, listen, to your point, Aaron, and I don't want to make this about all white people because all of us, the three of us, know this is not all white people, right? So to be clear, this is not all white people. This is not about it is not directed at any one white person specifically. But I'm throwing a rock in the group over there. I'm going to throw a rock in the group. I told him, I said, the Hispanic community has not learned something that Negroes have learned in this country over the last 400 years. You could never be educated enough to be accepted into that group. You could never be successful enough as a business person to be accepted into that group. You could never kiss enough behind to be accepted into the. Ask Vivek Ramaswamy, whatever his name is. Ask him. Ask Herman Cain, who kissed a whole bunch of Republican tail. Ask him how his story ended up being. Ask Tim Scott, who ran for president. And then here's the challenge. When Tim Scott ran, he's going to these diners. And as he's going to place, going to these diners, he starts suddenly out of nowhere, gets the feeling that maybe it ain't that. It's not that I'm not married. Yeah, it's not this. It's not that. There's only one thing left, Tim. No matter how much tail you kiss, Tim, you are one of us. And there's nothing you could do good enough to be accepted by the Republican Party as a black person. You can't do enough. Jay-Z said, and I know y'all don't like this word, but I'm doing it right now because I'm quoting Jay-Z's lyrics. He said, light nigga, dark nigga, rich nigga, poor nigga, house nigga, field nigga, still a nigga. You can't do enough to be accepted by white people in the Republican Party. The Hispanic community, here it is, Aaron, you brought this up. According to Pew Research, Democrats edged out Trump among Hispanic voters in 2024. Kamala Harris got 51%, while Donald Trump secured 48%. This is a substantial shift from 2020 when Biden led by 25 points. And from 2016, when Hillary Clinton won by an even wider margin of 31 points. Hispanic community. You going in the wrong direction, bruh. We've been here for 400 years. Let me tell you how this works. There's nothing you could do. You can't have enough education. He just fired the director of the CDC, who is overqualified for the position. He had the nerve to say that any number of very accomplished Black women were not intelligent people. When he was a C to C minus student, his father sued to get him into private school.
C minus.
He has 34 felonies. He has masked ICE agents taking your people, not our people, your people, busting out car windows, terrorizing your women and your children, terrorizing you. He already showed you who he was. He was putting your children in dog cages last time. And then just what, last week, the Secretary of Homeland Security said we're going to paint the pylons, the metal pylons, black so they're hotter to inflict harm on people who are trying to get into this country for a better life. Which, by the way, when white people from Ireland were illegally coming to America, all they had to do was go through a medical exam. All they had to do was go through a medical exam and then write their name down on a piece of paper, and they were admitted into this country. Donald Trump's grandparents came to this country through one medical exam and writing their name on a piece of paper. We don't even know if that's actually their family name, Trump. They could have made up that name on the way over here. There's nothing you could do to make them accept you. The best thing you can do is learn your lesson. The lady down in Miami, yeah, Papi Trump, Papi Trump, Papi Trump, and her husband
got taken,
and her son gone, disappear. Don't even know where they are. I'm the host and I'm talking too much, but I want to make sure we're clear. Learn your lesson. You cannot hide behind pale skin. There's colorism down in Latin America, Central America, and South America, just like there's colorism in North America.
Mm-hmm.
America was colonized by the English. You were colonized by the Spanish. That's not your original language. You've been colonized too. And a part of being colonized is thinking that if I have lighter skin, even though I live the same life, go to the same places, eat the same food, speak the same language, if I'm lighter than you, I'm better than you. And this country will show you that you are not. Eric, you have the floor.
You preached it. Preached it.
They not like us.
Yep. And the thing is, I know someone who said that that he knew, he's a Hispanic guy, voted for Trump. This is out of California. His nephew is an illegal from Mexico. They took him, and that guy whose nephew got taken, he just shed no tear. He did not care. He didn't. So you're going to have those segment of those communities, the community that is not going to care. They're not. And the thing that I don't like is they talk about the Republican Party. They talk about, hey, come in the right way, come in the right way. Most of them don't even know how long it takes. like you said, your contractor guy, it took him 8 to 12 years. It takes about because we have a party who don't want to put in judges to make it go quicker. Let's get to the root cause of that. They purposely do not put enough judges in place to filter through the bad ones. We don't want. Yeah, we agree. We do not want criminals coming to this country. We got enough here. We can all agree on that. But the process, they slow the process down on purpose. They were taking people who was trying to do it the right way in the courthouses. ICE is in the courthouses after they have their hearing. We have judges telling these people go out the back door because ICE is in the front door waiting for you. So that's why people say this is a racist thing, because you still have people who trying to do it the right way, going through the system, seeking asylum for real.
Yeah.
And you still want them not to be here.
Latin America is dangerous.
And they wrap it around jobs, wrap it around and saying that they're breaking down the wages. But at the same time, these lobbyists are still talking to Trump and saying, hey, you're taking away my help. These farmers that we as taxpayers subsidize is going to going to their congressmen and senators, to the president, and say, hey, I know what you're trying to do, man, but I'm making a killing paying these people $5 an hour. But we're getting on the $3 an hour. We're getting on the immigrants, but not the business people who are paying them under the table. So the business owners don't have to pay the payroll tax. We don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Eric. Those farmers of major farms went to Donald Trump and was like, hey, man, you need to back off. You killing us.
Yes.
You killing the bottom line. But the challenge is, but here's the thing. Here's the thing,
Eric. Your base. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. You try to satisfy capital and your base, and you can't do both.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they end up. No, you're right. They end up running afoul of each other. Yes. But this is the reason why. This is what bothers me about Trump and the Republican Party right now. These geniuses think that the ideas they're coming up with right now, they seem to think this is the first time anybody's come up with this idea. No, other people have thought about the goofy stuff you're trying to do, and they elected not to do it because they know they actually did their homework and saw how damaging it will be. It's crazy to me. It's you had brought up this point about the judges. This is the story that backs you up, Eric. And in March of 2024, the spending deal that they had, the budget bill in March of 2024, in March 2024, spending agreement meant to avert a government shutdown. Federal funding for immigration courts, specifically the Executive Office for the Immigration Review, was reduced instead of increased. President Biden had requested $1.4 billion, a 70% increase over the previous year's $860 million. But the financial allocation was cut to $844 million below the previous year's level. The Republican Party are the ones at the last minute, because they had control over the House and the Senate. They are the ones at the last minute who took this away. Now watch what happens. The Department of Justice is what it says. The Department of Justice did not renew the contracts of 17 immigration judges across the country, furthering the thinning out of the court. According to the union report, the IFPTE, nearly 100 immigration court professionals, including about 30 judges and senior staff, retired, resigned, or were fired. This loss is projected to add roughly 24,000 cases to an already enormous backlog in 2025 alone. For some reason, they say they want to get people out of here. They want to get the process going. President Biden asked for $1.34 billion in order to hire more judges and get these cases heard quickly. They elected, the Republicans did, the Republicans elected not to increase the funding. And the only solution I could come up with, Eric, and I'm going to go back to you for a second, the only thing I can think of is that they wanted to create a crisis last year in a political year. But why do you sit and let them play games with you like that? We know what it is. It's a game. They're talking about, oh, there's a migrant invasion, and President Biden's like, well, then give me the money, and I'll hire 30 new judges all over the country to hear some of these cases. They created a 24,000 case backlog between March of last year and March of this year. They don't want to solve the problem. They need this as a problem so that they can keep white folks in a frenzy. That's what this is. They don't want to solve it. Just like we talk about, and I'll come back to you, Eric, just like we talk about our medical system. We don't want to heal sickness. We want to treat sickness because we make our money off of treatment, not off of healing you. The Republican Party, they don't want solutions, right? They want to keep it going because they want to be able to go dip into that savings account, to that piggy bank of your racism and your bigotry, your hidden bigotry. They know it's there, so they want to be able to tap into it whenever they need to get something accomplished. Lincoln Riley, I hate that she lost her life. Mm-hmm. But y'all, let me tell you something. You know how many young people lose their life to gun violence all over this country? I don't care who kills them. But the fact that white people get so built up, they got all this pent up aggression towards the Hispanic community. This is why you could never do enough. You can't do enough. They have been conditioned over there in the Republican Party. MAGA is conditioning them to hate you no matter what you do. Eric, your thoughts, and we're moving on to our third topic.
And I just want to throw it out there that Kendall Wyatt has a very white mother.
Very white. Very white mother.
So he's mixed. So don't try to
one of the hold on, Eric. And one of the challenges I have with white people is because I'm related to white people.
Yeah.
That's why I know how this works. Because I'm related
biracial.
to them.
You are actually biracial, and you have a lot of MAGA in your family tree.
Oh, I do. No, I do.
I know you do.
People that supported Donald Trump. So I'm telling you how they think because I live it. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, and
was that your last point?
Yeah, I got one more point. So I'm gonna break. I know.
Sure.
You're talking about the Republican Party, but that's me. That has to. We need to have a strong opposition party. So the Democratic Party has to do better with messaging to them. Rather like what you read about the judges. Did you ever see that being talked about on CNN on a major way? MSNBC in a major way. When Biden did his address, State of the Union address, he didn't mention that at all. I know the State of the Union address used to be a message of unification of the House, the courts, and the president. Them days is gone.
Yeah,
the days are over.
Yeah.
So I believe that Joe Biden or even Kamala Harris spoke more deeply into those conversations as far as immigration is concerned, because Biden he sent out a lot of people. They made it seem like the wall is open. It's everybody can just flow in. Well, it's not the truth. It's not the truth. Do we have some problems down at the border? Absolutely. But it's not nearly as bad as what are they making it out to be.
It ain't nearly as bad as what they say it is. Oh, there's thousands of people coming over the border. And I'm telling them, do you realize that I live in Indianapolis, Indiana, and the the little bitty old Indianapolis International Airport sees over 5,000 people come through it every day. I assure you, the amount of people coming in and out of the Indianapolis International Airport does not impact your life in Ohio. The size of the amount of people that go to a large county high school. What those kids do on campus every day, 5,000 of them, has nothing to do with you losing your job in Northeast Ohio. That is the Republican Party and these terrible trade agreements and tariffs. And Trump is like, we're going to get rid of the trade agreement is terrible. I'm like, it's your trade agreement. We're not under NAFTA anymore. We're under yours. The USMCA. That's you. You sat and said it was the best trade agreement in history. And now you started a war with our closest neighbor, Canada? What did Canada do? Didn't you? Yeah. That's what did Canada. Move on, Kendall. All right, here's our third story. We got to get out of here, y'all. We try to keep it to an hour. We're at 46 minutes on the show. Listen, I'm hoping that you're enjoying this. This is if you're watching this is actually our pilot episode. So we'll get better. We'll get the chemistry going. As you see, our conversations are great. We have great content. We're going to continue to improve the content for you, and hopefully you'll follow us on our journey, all right? We have social media. We'll make sure that we start marketing our social media and all that, but please be on the lookout for us. If you're watching this right now, it's probably because you were personally invited by one of us to see the content. If you do like the content, please follow, subscribe, share it with everybody. We're going to continue to get better with the content, get better flow, but look, our heart is in this thing, so we're looking forward to holding these discussions with you. All right, here's the last story, and then we get out of here. Now, we are from Indianapolis, Indiana. All three of us are living currently in Indianapolis, Indiana. And so there's a story, fellas, I want to get y'all's thoughts on real quick as we get ready to shut down. Here's the third thing I want us to cover tonight. As Indiana is considering mid-cycle redistricting like other states have done so as well. A political development here in Indiana, GOP lawmakers are weighing early redistricting years ahead of the next census in an effort to potentially add another Republican congressional district before the 2026 midterms. President Trump reportedly privately urged Indiana's legislative leaders, including Speaker Todd Huston, and Senate President Roderick Bray, to redraw maps during a White House visit. Vice President J.D. Vance also engaged directly with state legislators to advance the idea, while Indiana Republicans hold a supermajority already, allowing them to act without Democratic support. Internal divisions are emerging. Some lawmakers remain cautious, citing risk to the state's traditionally respected redistricting process, while opponents, including voting rights groups, have delivered thousands of signatures protesting the mid-cycle effort. As full disclosure, I'm the president of the Young Lions Action Network. We are a part of the group that has opposed the redistricting efforts in the state of Indiana. But let's start with Aaron again. Aaron, what are your thoughts on Indiana trying to join the bandwagon with Texas and some other Republican states to redistrict our state in the middle of an election cycle, when really historically and traditionally and legally we've always done it every 10 years after we do a census report?
They know that they're in trouble. Midterms are coming. They're going to get a shellacking. That's one. Two, this is the Republican Party. Once again, when have they ever not tried to interfere with elections? If they're not interfering with foreign elections, they're interfering with our elections. And Indiana,
if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Exactly. So, and then third, this is a red state. So yeah. This is a red state. This is they say there's more than corn in Indiana, and that's correct. We have a bunch of MAGA hats.
Exactly. All the MAGA hats you can get. All the MAGA hats you want. Eric, what's your thoughts on this? Because this seems to be as Aaron pointed out, seems to be a Republican strategy instead of holding conversations, as you said, that the Democrats didn't do such a good job. It seems like the Republicans aren't doing a good job either. As I think today, Donald Trump's approval rating is at 37%, 37% approval. And so, what are your thoughts on the Republican Party essentially trying to, cut through the alley instead of holding real conversations? They're just trying to cheat the game.
Their policies is not working. It's not working. They're failing, and people are catching on. So instead of trying to win people by policies, they want to gerrymander. Gerrymander is one of the worst things you can do to voters. For example, let's look at our state, Indiana. Trump won our state with roughly about 54% of the votes. So he only won by +8. So it represents, let's do the math. 50, okay, we have total of 9 Congress people in our state. 9. So if the map was done correctly in a way, as far as our citizens concerned,
it should be 5 to 4.
Yeah, it should be 5 to 4. I'm talking about the state of Indiana. It at least need to be 5 to 4. At the most, maybe let's give them a little bit, 6 to 3. We should have at least 3 Congress people representing the state of Indiana. But the way they drew the maps, they got Lake County so big, so because they already know Lake County, stuff like that, to make sure, hey, you guys can have that one. And
explain Lake County for those that are not familiar with Indiana. What is the major city in Lake County?
Gary. You got Gary, Indiana. Hammond, stuff like that. Northwest Indiana, closer to the Chicago area, which is mostly Black, mostly Hispanic, and it's a plus like 20 Democratic district. So it's considered a safe seat for them. Same thing as Marion. Absolutely. Same as Marion County. Congressman Andre Carson, he just has Marion County, and it's where he's positioned at is pretty safe. So what they're trying to do now,
Marion County is Indianapolis. For those of you that might be watching us from around the country, yes. Lake County is Gary, Indiana, where the Michael Jackson's originally from. Gary, Indiana. Everybody knows Gary, Indiana, and then Indianapolis is, of course, the capital city of Indiana, where the Pacers and Colts are and that kind of thing, the Indianapolis 500. So go ahead, Eric, just giving a little context for our state.
Yes. So what they're trying to do is expand take part of or Region 1, District 1. They want to make it even larger to include Porter County, which is the Portages, little parts of Michigan City, going mid part of Indianapolis, the area between Gary and Lafayette and Indianapolis, pretty much the part between Gary and Lafayette, they want to all become District 1, expanding it so that it'll become a plus 14 district for red. So that's what they're trying to do, and they already have the maps already set in stone to eliminate District 1 and District 7, for which is Indianapolis, if I'm not mistaken. So and they're really trying to steal those seats. Like having 7 is not enough. You already had the state. You want to take it all because their policy are not working, and this is what as a voter, as a Republican voter, you should be offended that they feel like they don't deserve to get your vote by earning it with policies.
Yeah. Because when they gerrymandered the seats, your voice loses power.
Yes.
Because they will
Yes.
have so much consolidated power, they won't need to even come talk to you anymore.
Yeah.
That's what they don't understand about this.
Have town halls now. So don't even go to your town halls. And they're not Democratic plants either. There's no Democratic plant in Nebraska. And they're booing them there.
Yeah.
Because the policies are not working. So this is a good opportunity for the Democrat Party to get their stuff together.
Absolutely.
And be able to get those votes with policies. And not
it's an opportunity.
It's an opportunity, yes.
Yeah, it's absolutely an opportunity. And I listen, Gavin Newsom, he's funny to me, but I think what he's been doing is his trolling of Donald Trump has been brilliant, because it shows just how dysfunctional this really is. You know what I mean? I want to share something with you, Eric and Aaron. I actually, a few weeks ago, when this conversation started, I asked ChatGPT to do an analysis if every historically Democratic state fully gerrymandered every seat and made it Democratic, and then every historically Republican state eliminated every Democratic seat, what would it look like in Congress? And what ChatGPT said, this is the response. I'm going to read it to you. It says, if every state maximized its partisan power, Democrats would control the House with a solid majority of 272 seats. Republicans would have 163 seats, well below the 218 needed for a majority. This exercise shows that due to population-heavy blue states like California, New York, and Illinois, and strong swing state performance, Democrats benefit more from a scenario where every state gerrymanders to its advantage. So go do it. Go for it. Listen to me. Go for it. I wish the Republican Party, please go for it. And Illinois, California, New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut. These are huge. Washington, Oregon, Colorado, Nevada. Play with me, please. Please play this game with me. Let's go.
A gerrymander is not good. I don't like it when the Democrats do it. I don't like it when the Republicans do it, because it stifles the vote of the constituents on both sides. But the Republican Party started this. Yeah. And I did the GPT too. I said, if we just had an independent person just draw the lines for this whole entire country.
Yeah.
The Democrats' seats still would have won. It was like 230 to like 190, something like that. Some crazy. They would have had it if you just got rid of gerrymandering for every state. Because California, they gerrymander too. There's some gerrymandering in Illinois as well.
Oh, but sure.
Yeah, sure. But if we just
even their gerrymandering isn't at the level that the Republican states are. Here's the truth. The truth is as we wrap up, the truth is we actually, Eric, in my opinion, we've talked about this offline. We live in an apartheid state.
We do.
We have a minority ruled country right now.
Yeah.
The majority is not ruling the country. We are living apartheid every day. Because when you have a state like Montana,
South Dakota,
who has you have 3,500 residents, 3,500 people in California are the equivalent of one person in North Dakota because of how we set up the Senate. That's not democracy.
It's not.
It's not democracy. It's not. Democracy is majority rule. Simple.
Yeah.
And because we live in an apartheid state,
Yep.
the conclusion they have come to is that the best case scenario is that they gerrymander the lines so they don't have to lose their consolidated power. But my hope is if they're going to play that game, what's good for the goose must be good for the gander. Listen, you've been watching the Root Cause Podcast. Thank you for hanging out along with myself, Kendall Wyatt, my brother Eric Johnson, and my brother Aaron Chandler. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I hope that you enjoyed. Listen, if you enjoy the content, this is our pilot episode. We'll get better. We'll fine tune. Our technology will get better. We're messing around with it. We're going to get better. Hopefully a year from now, we'll be really, really rolling. But if you stick with us, you can say, look, I was there when they first got going, and we would love for you to follow us on our journey. So be on the lookout. Like I said, if you're watching this video, it's probably because one of us personally invited you to see this pilot episode. Give us some feedback. Reach out to us. Let us know how you feel. We would love to hear your feedback. All right. For myself and the fellas, this has been The Root Cause. We'll see you next time.